So guys, this headline here says, Trump will capture you if you rig 2027 election. Pearse warns Tinubu. Pearse, who I think is a chieftain of the PDP, is already sending a warning signal to Tinubu that if you dare rig 2027 election, that Trump is going to come for you, that Trump will capture you. This is coming after the Venezuelan president was captured by the USA. Don't forget that one of the reasons why the United States has said they went for him is because they said he didn't win the election, he forced himself on the people. So Trump sees him as an illegitimate president, and that is one of the reasons why they went for him, and they captured him. And now Pearse is telling Tinubu that Trump will capture you if you dare rig the next election. But guess what? Many Nigerians have already started reporting Tinubu to the United States. This is coming after Trump was spotted saying he is also going to be bringing down the Colombian president because he's not going to be there for long. You can see this headline here. It says, Colombia is very sick too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling to the United States. He's not doing good. He's not going to be there. He's not going to be doing it for very long. Let me tell you, Trump is saying that that man's days are numbered. He's not going to be there for a long time. That he is selling cocaine to his country. Now, many Nigerians have been reporting, Tinubu to Trump. Like you can see, this person here said, Dear Trump, please remember this. Elon Musk, kindly help intensify. This person attached this article or this certificate that indicates Tinubu once forfeited money to the United States, as regards to drug-related whatever. So this person tagged Donald Trump and said, Trump, dear Trump, please remember this. Elon Musk, help intensify. And then this other person also said, don't forget the rigging conducted in last presidential election, and attach some evidence of, doctored or altered voting sheets, that's result sheets. So guys, this is going to be very, very difficult for Tinubu this time as regards to the way Trump is going. Anybody that is into rigging of election, terrorism, sponsorship, and also drug-related businesses, Trump is really going hard on them this time from the look of things, and the US is not knocking at anybody's door to do what they want to do. So Nigerians have been tagging all this, like this person here say, dear Donald Trump, the cheapest and easiest way to go about this is to make sure that 2027 election in Nigeria is not rigged. So just ensure we have free and fair election. And this other person also tagged Donald Trump, tag Pearse, and also tag Rlecyion and say, please look into this, thank you. And he says, in 1993, Bola Tinubu surrendered $460,000 to the US government after a Chicago court found the income came from heroin trafficking. So all these people are calling Trump's attention that Trump should look into this matter. So guys, it's really going to be a tough time for the Tinubu's government. This is coming after Hope Uzodinma was spotted in a video posting that almost all the governors are now in APC, and they believe that at the state level it will be easy for them to rig the 2027 election. So guys, because they know the people are not with them, but they believe that with the governors, rigging at state level is going to be very, very easy for the presidential election. Now let's move to this forgery allegation. Tinubu has been accused again of forging a Twitter post that was posted on his Twitter handle. But this headline coming from Trust TV says, a forged presidency. This is as a result of all the forgery allegations. Recently, we saw that of the tax bill, tax law. We were told that not what was passed is now existing in the law, and despite the controversy, the law has gone into effect. And now Tinubu is being accused to have posted a photo of him and the Rwandan president that is said to have been created using an AI app using Grok. So now this person tweeted and said, this is official's bad most recent post on Twitter. The picture is AI generated. Why the fabrication? What is he hiding? Is he really dead, strung out on drugs, in hiding, or just a fraud? You would think after flaunting a 400 million naira wristwatch the other day, he could afford more competent social media help. No, Tinubu was spotted with a watch that people said cost about 27,000 US dollars. So I think that's what he translated to this 400 million naira. And Tinubu was brought under, strong criticism by Nigerians that he's wearing such a watch and trying to tax Nigerians. You can imagine wearing just a watch that can build a hospital for you. That is unbelievable. So this man is calling out Tinubu. This is actually the post that was made by Tinubu on his Twitter handle. I think that was yesterday, and they are saying it was created using Grok, that is Elon Musk's AI. And then this other person also said yesterday the Nigerian president on his X page forged a photo of himself with the president of Rwanda, a completely unnecessary and unneeded forgery. And for brainless lunatics who support this insane government, they will not be upset that this forgery has brought us shame before the whole world. They will be upset that some of us are calling it out, a government of brazen forgers, blatant liars, despicable crooks, and heartless animals. These are some of the words that he used. These are his words. But Bayo Ononuga has come out today to debunk it, saying, oh, that they just use an AI to improve the quality. That is an original image. But guess what? Nigerians are saying that he said they use Grok to improve the quality of the image. Nigerians are saying that Grok does not improve images. Grok only creates. So Tinubu should spare himself and come out to explain to Nigerians how come an AI-generated image is being posted on his Twitter handle. So, guys, a whole lot is happening. Now, back to the main story that says Trump will capture you if you rig 2027 election. Pearse wants Tinubu. I want you to take a look at the video and let me know your honest reaction as regards to this. That Trump will capture you. Don't forget that Gumi is already panicking. He said Trump has already marked him for elimination, and not quite long we saw the Northerners already protesting that Trump shouldn't come to Nigeria. But guess what? Trump doesn't take permission from anybody when he wants to do whatever he's doing. Anyway, guys, let me allow you to take a look at this video and let me know your honest reaction to all these headlines. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification for more updates. Thank you.
The fact that you have the US president, first of all, he was the one that told us about this attack. You know, I could let that slide, you know, because I personally think that the people who are victims don't care where the help comes. I understand the contradictions and our failure, but those people need some succor. If the U.S. Intervention will bring it, fine. But what I find worrying, personally, Prof, is that our president has not spoken at all.
Thank you.
He didn't make a broadcast, you know, and I'm told that he didn't make a broadcast also last year. And then he has left the country, you know, about the same time without saying a word. And then Anthony Joshua got involved in an accident. And then the president made a call to Anthony Joshua and put it out to us. Now, I mean, I'm not saying the president shouldn't call Anthony Joshua. Of course, he should. But how come we are hearing from our president about Anthony Joshua and he's not telling us a thing personally about the fact that we have America sending bombs to our territory? No word, no explanation, no accountability. What is responsible for that, in your opinion, Prof?
If I give the answer that I'd like to give, you know, people may get excited, but I think it is fundamentally because Tinubu does not need Nigerian votes to be president.
Wow, but he does need it. He must get it.
No, he does not need Nigerian votes to be president. Tinubu needs judges and INEC to give him a result. If you need votes of your people to be president, he will not be, with profound respect, acting with this degree of irresponsibility and utter disregard for the worth and well-being of Nigerians. No. It is because at the end of the day, let us all be honest. What he needs are the judges and INEC. If votes counted, Nigerian politicians would not be as irresponsible, from the president down, will not be as irresponsible as they are to behave as if Nigerians do not count. Because for good or for ill, and I agree with you, you know, people, you know, I've spent most of my life working on atrocities and insecurity across the world, and particularly across the African continent. And when you look at the situation, you know, Sudan, in Darfur, for instance, or indeed in the north of Ethiopia, in Tigray, in Sierra Leone, Liberia, where we had the situation in West Africa, you know, in the last decade of the last millennium. The fact is, people who are in trouble, or indeed in the Great Lakes of Africa, right? People who find themselves at the receiving end of a challenging situation do not mind where help comes from. I totally agree. But when that help involves something on the scale of a missile strike on your territory, you do expect that your president will be responsible enough to face his people and say, this is what transpired. And that, to not do that, to not think he owes Nigerians that, and to then leave the country. And while all of that is taking place, what happens? They issue a statement on a $1 billion financing arrangement for the so-called coastal road. They found time to do that. They found time to attend AO in Lagos. They found time to commiserate with Anthony Joshua publicly, but the president has not said anything about the situation. That, for me, is the most eloquent, as I said, of New Year statements and New Year messages. It says the man does not think Nigerians matter.
Let's start with, Mr. Trump has now intervened, in a rather much more critical way in Venezuela. And we are told that the president and his wife of Venezuela have been taken away, probably heading for some court appearance or proceedings in New York. How do you respond to that? And should we be worried in Nigeria at all?
No, thank you once again, and to the viewers as well. Happy New Year. It's customary at this time of the year. Now, history has a way of repeating itself. If you remember, we're speaking at the beginning of 2026, in January 2026. And pretty much exactly 36 years ago, on the 3rd of January, 1990, the United States under President Bush ran a similar operation in Panama, where they, on this day, on that particular day, 3rd of January, took President Manuel Noriega on accusations that are absolutely a reprise of what you have now. The allegations against President Maduro are exactly the same thing, the same playbook that occurred in December 1989 into January 1990. Allegations of narco trafficking, allegations of massive election rigging and denying the will of the people, allegations of racketeering. And Manuel Noriega was taken to Miami, if you remember. He was put on trial in Miami, convicted, sentenced, I believe, to 40 years in prison, if I'm not mistaken. He served until, I believe, 2010, when he was transferred, by which time he had become ill. He was transferred to France, where he continued his time in detention and then taking medical assistance for what ultimately proved to be colon cancer. And he died back. He was repatriated from France back to prison in Panama, where he died in 2017. I know that you asked a supplementary question: should Nigeria be, or the leadership of Nigeria be, watching its back? Look, I'm not American, I'm Nigerian. And my primary responsibilities are as a Nigerian citizen. Now, under the Constitution, Section 14, the primary responsibility of government is the protection of its citizens, of public safety and security. I'll give President Tinubu credit. As a politician, he's peerless. The political dimensions of the presidency, he does not have any equal at all. But as a commander-in-chief, he is missing in action. He has been totally absent as commander-in-chief. And that is the biggest problem with his presidency. I'm not going to be worrying about what America can do when even my own president is unwilling or unable to exercise the responsibilities of the office. And right now, sadly, speaking only as a Nigerian citizen, I've got to say that Nigeria's current president is appears unwilling and unable to exercise the responsibilities of the office.
So let's start with, the wishes of the president in his message for all of us. He didn't give a broadcast. We didn't see him behind the camera speak to us, but he did release a statement. But I want to ask you, how do you assess his statement? What are the key things that you want to bring out?
President Tinubu is not just the president of Nigeria. He's also an African elder. When you're over 70, which he is, he's an African elder. And in Nigeria, we talk about Dirty December. Even young people now want to return to the country to do their holiday season at the end of the year and commune with the people and all of that. I'm loath to spend too much time on President Tinubu's New Year message because it takes a derailed African elder to go and spend Christmas outside the country, outside their place with foreigners.
Mm.
President Tinubu was not in Nigeria for the New Year, right? Now, amidst all of the challenges.
Sorry, Prof. I think he spent Christmas in Lagos, and it was from Lagos that he left for Europe for the New Year.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
President Tinubu was not in Nigeria for the New Year.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, which African elder properly brought up actually wants to go and spend New Year outside their place with their own people? And when you are the president and you are trying to tell your people that you're doing these phantasmagoric reforms and things are turning out right, and then on the eve of New Year, as New Year approaches, you take off and flee the country. Missiles are raining on your territory from outside the country, and you say you invited a foreign president to administer the missiles on the territory, and that you provided the intelligence, or at least that's what his appointees are saying, that Nigeria provided the intelligence that Nigeria could not act upon to the United States so that the United States could do these things. What prevents him, therefore, from spending the New Year in the country? And what was it? What is it that is so exciting in Europe that his reforms cannot persuade him to at least spend New Year's Day in Nigeria before going out of the country? So that's why I'm not particularly of the mindset to dwell too much on what he said rather than what he's done. And let's be clear. In the midst of the US missile strikes in Nigeria, President Tinubu has said absolutely nothing as commander-in-chief. Ministry of Defense has said absolutely nothing. Defense headquarters has not shown up. So who are the people articulating? The foreign minister, the Minister of Information, and Daniel Bwala. They are the people who are saying things about this situation. If people are not troubled by that, and if that is not eloquent New Year's message, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Prof, I'm going to agree with you on that. The fact that you have the US president, first of all, he was the one that told us about this attack. I could let that slide, because I personally think that the people who are victims don't care where the help comes. I understand the contradictions and our failure, but those people need some succor. If the U.S. intervention will bring it, fine. But what I find worrying, personally, Prof, is that our president has not spoken at all.
Thank you.
He didn't make a broadcast, and I'm told that he didn't make a broadcast also last year. And then he has left the country, about the same time without saying a word. And then Anthony Joshua got involved in an accident. And then the president made a call to Anthony Joshua and put it out to us. Now, I mean, I'm not saying the president shouldn't call Anthony Joshua. Of course, he should. But how come we are hearing from our president about Anthony Joshua and he's not telling us a thing personally about the fact that we have America sending bombs to our territory? No word, no explanation, no accountability. What is responsible for that, in your opinion, Prof?
If I give the answer that I'd like to give, people may get excited, but I think it is fundamentally because Tinubu does not need Nigerian votes to be president.
Wow, but he does need it. He must get it.
No, he does not need Nigerian votes to be president. Tinubu needs judges and INEC to give him a result. If you need votes of your people to be president, he will not be, with profound respect acting with this degree of irresponsibility and utter disregard for the worth and well-being of Nigerians. No. It is because at the end of the day, let us all be honest. What he needs are the judges and INEC. If votes counted, Nigerian politicians would not be as irresponsible, from the president down, will not be as irresponsible as they are to behave as if Nigerians do not count. Because for good or for ill, and I agree with you, people, I've spent most of my life working on atrocities and insecurity across the world, and particularly across the African continent. And when you look at the situation, Sudan, in Darfur, for instance, or indeed in the north of Ethiopia, in Tigray, in Sierra Leone, Liberia, where we had the situation in West Africa, in the last decade of the last millennium, the fact is people who are in trouble, or indeed in the Great Lakes of Africa, right? People who find themselves at the receiving end of a challenging situation do not mind where help comes from. I totally agree. But when that help involves something on the scale of a missile strike on your territory, you do expect that your president will be responsible enough to face his people and say, this is what transpired. And that, to not do that, to not think he owes Nigerians that, and to then leave the country. And while all of that is taking place, what happens? They issue a statement on a $1 billion financing arrangement for the so-called coastal road. They found time to do that. They found time to attend AO in Lagos. They found time to commiserate with Anthony Joshua publicly, but the president has not said anything about the situation. That, for me, is the most eloquent, as I said, of New Year statements and New Year messages. It says the man does not think Nigerians matter.
It's quite worrying. Now, because I have had experience inside the villa as a presidential spokesperson, I know that there are times that you might have a principal, who listens to his aides, even if the principal doesn't listen, the aides around him hold him a responsibility to talk to him. And I have had occasion to call out, the people around the president that is it a problem of just the president or the fact that you guys, I'm talking of those aides, that you can't talk to him? Because I don't know, for instance, how you will have, 3 presidential spokespersons in the villa, and we have no kind of explanation whatsoever. To what extent do you think, Prof, that we should hold the advisors to account? To what extent, if at all?
No, I don't hold any advisors to account on this at all. As you well know from your experience in the presidency is a lot of jobs in one, right? A president is a party leader, he's a head of government, he's the head of state, he's a diplomat in chief, and so many other things. A president is also commander in chief. Now, a president, pretty much every other aspect of the presidency can be delegated. There is only one job in the presidency that cannot be delegated: commander in chief. As long as the commander-in-chief is alive, no matter in what state, no other person can do that job. Therefore, the advisors can all do what advisors do. And as President Obasanjo let us know, what they are is advisor. He does not have a duty to take their advice. And in order to protect the relationship between an advisor and the principal, what the advisor says remains confidential. So we will never know whether, as a matter of fact, the advisors actually told him anything, because it's important to respect that relationship of advisor and principal. However, what the principal does, in my view, is what is important. And here, even if the advisors did not tell him, are you telling me that the president does not realize that he has a duty to communicate to Nigerians, just as the US president communicated to Americans and indeed the world his own version of what transpired? The president of Nigeria, where the missile strike occurred at the receiving end of missile strike, had a duty to tell Nigerians this is what is transpiring. And he's failed to do that. He's not reckoned with that. And it seems and that is the fundamental, most important duty of the commander-in-chief. He has absolutely abdicated that responsibility, in my view, and there is no excuse. There's no justification. It's irresponsible.
Wow. Interesting. So, final question. The tax reform bills has been in quite a bit of controversy. Representative Abdulsamad Dasuki from Sokoto in the House of Reps pointed to the whole nation that he has gotten a copy of the gazetted law, the gazetted version of the legislation that is different, from the proper copies that he said was sent to the president, and obviously the one that the president signed. And then, since then, the National Assembly leadership has said, okay, don't worry, we've sorted it out. We are going to do another regazetting. How do you respond to this, Prof?
Oh, I mean, I find the courage and honesty of Honorable Abdul Samad, by the way, is very commendable. I think there are a few legislators in Nigeria who would have had the courage to do what he did. Particularly in this current era where everybody is jumping to the ruling party. So that's the first thing here. It's quite evident. I don't, the fact that the leadership of the National Assembly is talking about regazetting clearly shows that he was right in what he said. And the fact that nobody has made the effort to suggest that he should be sanctioned means that he definitely was right. And that is a problem. Now, people need to understand the process of legislation, okay? Now, after the National Assembly passes a piece of legislation, and whether or not there is need for concurrence, but once a bill sails through the National Assembly, it is transmitted to the president with what is called votes and proceedings, which shows how the National Assembly actually took the decision.
Right.
So it's not just a clean bill that is sent. The clerk, the CNA, certifies the text with votes and proceedings, which then goes to the president and for his assent. Now, what is suggested here is that after votes and proceedings had gone to the president, the text was changed. If the text was changed, there is nothing like regazetting. Not at all. Now, the Gazette, by the way, enjoys a presumption of regularity. And so anything published as legislation in an official gazette of Nigeria, is the text of the law. If you cannot even believe the text of your gazette as a country, what can you believe? All right? Whatever is published in the gazette is the text of the law. If the National Assembly wants to change that, what they need to do is convene us in a session and set it aside. They can repeal it and then replace it with the right text, if that is what they want to do. And they can repeal it and send up the proper text to the president for him to assent afresh, and then it gets published in the Gazette. But you cannot have two gazettes. One representing one piece of legislation, another one purporting to set the earlier Gazette aside administratively, and then replace it with a new one. That no country runs that way, not even banana republics. And I'd like to hope that Nigeria is not setting itself up as a banana republic. And so, I've heard what is it called, the chair of the Presidential Task Force on this tax fiscal reforms, Taiwo, right? Going about and saying all of these things. My problem is, what is Taiwo's brief? Is it perpetual? Is it endless? Is it infinite? because I thought that his brief was to deliver a report and proposals to the president, but quite clearly he's become something more than that. And he appears to be doing work, in my view, that should be done by the Minister of Finance and the coordinating Minister of the Economy, or a chief economic advisor to the president, in which case they should just appoint him as that, or maybe a chief tax advisor or fiscal advisor to the president. Let them move him into that position and give him a brief. But this plenipotentiary capacity to basically take over any portfolio in government and run it as he appears to be doing is part of an architecture of lawlessness that appears to pervade what the current government administration is doing.
Well, what he says in his defense, and just to give the flip side, is that the president has asked him to continue in that advisory role regarding fiscal reform, so that it's not just to work in the preparatory stage of the committee trying to draft the reform, but also to be active in its implementation. I think he has said that publicly.
Exactly. And that means exactly what? Is he an official advisor in government, or is he outside government? And what portfolio does he exercise within government? The president asks people to do things all the time. That's not a problem. And the president has friends as well, and he's entitled to have his friends. Mm-hmm. But what he is doing, in my view, is unlawful. It's unprecedented. He basically has a Rambo role, foraging across government, saying whatever he wants, doing whatever he wants. It is power without responsibility. And that is not, particularly on fiscal policy. You cannot be running fiscal policy as a free agent. Surely not. And that is what pervades this entire thing, free agency. Or free radical, as a matter of fact, that you just come in and this dude, is bright. I'm not contesting his nous on the subject matter or his expertise, but that's not the issue. He's just running amok.
A Muslim, why does Ilorin have emir? Why is Ilorin a Muslim? Why does Ilorin have emir? If you Yoruba Muslims are so innocent, if Yoruba Muslims are so innocent, how did the Yoruba people lose Ilorin to Islam, to the Islamists? Why is there an emir in it? Okay, it is long ago. Oh yeah, give us Ilorin back if it is long ago. Remove your emir from Ilorin. Why is the emir still in Ilorin? If it was, don't we know that Ilorin is Yoruba land? Why is your emir still there? Can you remove your emir from Ilorin, please? After you tried to kill us in Southwest 2 times, you tried to exterminate us, we defeated you in battle. You are not using our victory against you that subdued you. You Yoruba traitors that went with Afonja and the Muslims. Do you want me to tell you your stories, Yoruba Muslims? Do you want to know your story? That you are the ones that went with fought behind Afonja with the Muslims to try and destroy Yoruba land on behalf of Islam? And northerners that you all gather here today, or Muslims who gather around and be saying, we want to remove ourselves from northern, and when you are the people that brought Islam into our lives, try to kill us and steal everything we have for the northerners, you Yoruba Muslims. Why are Yoruba Muslims not like the northern Muslims? Because we kicked your ass. We beat the living daylight out of you. We beat you very well. That till today, Early misbehave. We beat you very well. That's why Yoruba Muslims cannot misbehave. They were dealt with. They understand what it means to try and fuck with us over here. We dealt with them. That's why you don't do anything. Don't act like you are better than the northern Muslims. They're not better. You just don't have the clout. You don't have the power. You don't have the numbers to play that your game here. So Yoruba Muslims, be quiet while I'm talking to your northern brothers. You are the same as them. Go to Ilorin and see the way you behave there. Go to Ilorin, they are cutting people's hair. These bad people, they just cut your hair on the street. Say because you have afro. Why will you have afro? Islam is a problem. You have to address it. Anyway, Let me read from the Quran. So not from the Quran, but translations. Let me read translations from the Quran. About what this God thinks of us, the unbelievers, the infidels, the kafirs. I mean, how can these people say you are when you have this kind of words to describe people that don't agree with you? Infidel. That one too is not in the Quran. There's a politics, there's a game here. We, the people, are trapped in the middle. Arabic imperialists, European imperialists. Everybody siphoning, stealing, drawing blood out of Africa. Using African people as the scapegoat. It is the same whether or not you forewarn them, the unbelievers. They will have no faith. Quran 2, chapter 6. God will mock them and keep them long in sin, blundering blindly along. 2:15. A fire whose fuel is men and stones awaits them. Quran 2:24. They will be rewarded with disgrace in this world and with grievous punishment on the day of resurrection. Quran 2:85.
So, guys, let's quickly take a look at how Nigerians are reacting after this headline that says, breaking news, suspected terrorists have attacked the busy Isanlu Sin Omo Aran Road in Kwara State, kidnapping at least 4 travelers. 4 travelers have been kidnapped, and this person said these bandits have taken over Kwara. What was this government thinking? And this person say, as a Nigerian, it's a normal news. Hey, this person say Kwara is bleeding, and yet we wait for security updates. While innocent people are abducted on major roads, how many more before actions stop being optional? And this other person here said, what's really going on? What's really going on in this country? This is utterly heartbreaking and unacceptable. Yet another attack on innocent travelers in Kwara State. How many more incidents before our leaders take decisive action? The level of insecurity in this country is shameful. Enough is enough. Oh my God. Enough is really enough. We have had a lot already. Now, this person says, yet president of a country of a particular concern is holidaying in Europe using Grok to edit photos. And this other person here reacted and say, Kwara State again. How are we going to put an end to this? This person said they are still untouchable. Another person here tweeted saying, what's actually happening around this area nowadays? Why sudden kidnapping is in increase in that area? I think the question we should be asking ourselves, is the government of Kwara even doing anything to these terrorist issues? And this other person here said, the way they are touching Kwara anyhow, what are these people not telling us? This is deeply heartbreaking and disturbing. Innocent travelers abducted on major roads in Kwara State. Our heart goes out to the victims and their families. May God protect them and bring them home safely. Enough of this pain. Oh, enough of the pain. Oh, this person, Kwara State, has been captured by terrorists. It's a shame to Kwara State government. This is alarming and underscores the persistent fragility of security in many regions. Kidnapping attacks like these are not just criminal acts. They destabilize communities, instill fear, and disrupt daily life, showing how quickly routine travel can become a high-risk activity. I mean, traveling in Nigeria is now a high-risk activity. The tragedy is compounded by the randomness of such incidents, innocent travelers becoming targets, heightening the urgent need for robust prevention and response system rather than reactive measures. From a 1st October perspective, the lesson is about proactive protection and structural intervention, just as the charity builds system to ensure aid reaches the most vulnerable efficiently and sustainably. Safety in communities require planning, coordination, and accountability. Preparedness through awareness campaign, community support, and community support networks, and strong enforcement turns vulnerability into resilience, ensuring the lives of the lives and livelihood are safeguarded even amidst unpredictable predictable threats. I think this person really wrote some good piece. This or almost God I beg for now long, for how long we go continue dey cry. This person say, God please, so my sister and her kids are on their way back to Kwara State. May God protect everyone and heal the nation. And this other person here said, this road when I dey pass sherere that year, God I beg. Okay. And another person here says, are you sure? Where is the evidence source link? This one says, I thought the US are silent. I thought the US are silencing these terrorists when the Northerners are even resisting. The governor of the state know they try abeg. Send security forces to comb the forest. Trust me, result go dey show. This person Tinubu should step down. They should this guy now operates with these guys now operate without restriction. Suspected. Don't let us judge yet. Okay, let's see what Nigerians are also saying as regards to this headline that says okay, this one that talks about terrorists killing a young Nigerian. Okay, let's quickly see. The former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Chief Michael, has urged the United States government to extend its airstrike to Benue State to flush out terrorists and bandits operating in the area. This man is saying, Trump, please, we can't depend on Tinubu anymore. Come and release your strikes against these terror guys. And this person here reacted and said, if the US can bomb terrorists in Sokoto, why not let them finish the job in Benue? Benue no get natural resources. This person say, BB of Jerusalem, son of Abraham, you have a mail. This person is sending a letter to that's the Israeli Prime Minister. Another person said, this wild chief wants US drone busting Benue bandits. This person, a real victim of terrorism, welcome US intervention, while those living safely in gated community lecture US on sovereignty. Another basket mouth don't start the talk. That's what this person is saying. This is a Fulani man. He's calling the former Attorney General a basket mouth. Can you imagine? This person is all of them fear are now talking because Trump has opened the gates of freedom during his time. What did he do to better Nigeria justice system? This is also a good question. So what happened to all these fighter jets you bought from America for so long? Why are they not using all the fighter jets they bought under the Buhari's administration? So on a slave master no fit do than to go on vacation, make empty speeches, forge, steal, and embezzle. It's a shame. This person is saying Tinubu, his own is to vacate, and to steal, to forge, and all those stuff. So guys, these are Nigerians pouring out their hearts, and this one say, I pray more sensible people with right gods would lend their voices to this, so we can wither the forest of bad evil. Evil is evil. Killing your fellow human beings is evil, and the actors, enablers like Gumi and co deserves to die. So guys, these are Nigerians reacting, to all what is being currently said now by the former Attorney General calling on Trump to please come to their aid in Benue State. This person, Chief Michael's statement is bold, but it raises a critical question. Should foreign military intervention really be the solution to our security challenges? We need sustainable homegrown strategy that empowers our security forces and community, not reliance on external force. Hey, this person has come. Since the Nigerian military is now, having bad eggs, because who knows, this strike that killed so many soldiers, do you know if it was a sabotage again? Do you know if somebody informed the Boko Haram people that the Nigerian military was coming that direction and they planted explosives that led to their death? You can never tell. So don't even open that book now. As in, nobody knows, if nobody trusts the Nigerian military again. Any incident that happened, people want to justify, people want to say, was it genuine or was it sabotage? Because the level of trust of Nigerians for the Nigerian military has so much gone down. So guys, these are some of the reactions coming from Nigerians. Let me know your honest reaction in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification. Thank you.